making arroz con pollo. Arroz con pollo translates, oh, hello. Arroz con pollo translates into rice and chicken, and it's a traditional Cuban dish that you would serve on a Sunday afternoon to your family or maybe on a special occasion. So without further ado, let's get started. I have here an Instapot. You don't have to have an Instapot. You can do this on a regular pot on your stove. It's very simple. I have it set on Saute, which means you would have the heat at medium-high. And I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom. Remember, it just spreads out and coats, so don't think you have to cover every little inch with the pouring. And here I'm using 2 chicken thighs, and I've cut them into little pieces. Now, I left the bone because I happen to like eating my chicken off the bone, but it's entirely up to you. I'm going to wait until the oil is hot enough so that it sizzles when I put the chicken in. Once the oil is hot, you start putting in your chicken pieces. Now, if you have much more chicken than the bottom of your pan, you can do it in 2 or 3 batches. It's okay. The reason we're browning the chicken is just to give the oil that flavor and to have it have a little bit of a brownish look in the chicken. You know, that toasty covering. I did take the skin off my chicken because in the arroz con pollo, the skin is not crispy, and I particularly don't like it. There they are, searing away. As soon as they're brown on one side, I'm going to turn them over. And once they do, I'm going to make sure that I scrape off the bottom of the pan so that I can have all that flavor that the chicken leaves behind in my dish. The chicken is now crispy brown. Not totally cooked, but it's okay because it's going to be cooked with the rice. And I'm just going to take it out and put it aside for a moment. Okay. Now we put in, I had a small onion that I chopped up, and I'm going to put it in to saute. Now you know how in Cajun cooking, the holy trinity is carrots, celery, and onion. In Cuban cooking, it's green peppers, onions, and garlic. And so I've got quite a bit of green peppers because I have so many left from my garden. I'm going to put that in. Now, because these are fresh vegetables, they emit some liquid. Take advantage of that liquid and using your wooden spoon or spatula, scrape the bottom of the pan so that you can get all those nice bits of flavor from the bottom of the pan into your dish. My mouth is watering just thinking about this dish. Now, if you can't get all the little bits off, then just add a little bit of water and it will release the bits. I wish you could smell this place. It is divine. Now, I know I should be using fresh, but I like to buy my garlic minced and in a squeeze bottle, and I like to buy it organic. And I estimate about 2 cloves of garlic there. Now, don't saute the garlic for very long because it will become a little bit bitter. Okay, I think I got all those bits out. The garlic has been in here for a while. And now we're ready to move on to do our arroz con pollo. Delicious. I turned off the saute mode. I hit the cancel button, and it's still quite hot in there. If I were doing this on the stove, I would just lower it to a very, very gentle simmer, almost too low to cook, and I would prepare everything else while that was going on. As it is, I'm going to cook 2 cups of rice. And with 2 cups of rice goes 2 cups of liquid. So I have here 1 cup of water, and I've used a little bit already there, but I have more than 1 cup of beer, so it'll be fun. I'll end up with 2 cups. So here it goes. One of my favorite things about arroz con pollo is that it has that little tang of beer at the end, and this is my favorite beer, Corona, and because it's a little bottle, they call it Coronita. So here we are. There's my Coronita. Should I? Anyway, I'm gonna pour it in with the cup of water. If you don't have beer, you can use white wine or you can use cooking cherry wine. It's perfectly fine. Oh, I meant to leave a little bit for me, darn. To this, we're going to put a teaspoon of chicken broth. Arroz con pollo is just so comforting. It's one of those dishes that when I eat it, it sets me back to my grandmother's house with all my aunts and uncles and cousins and laughter. It's just phenomenal. I'm gonna have a little half a teaspoon of cumin. If anything defines Cuban cooking, I think it's the cumin. All right. It has a smoky scent to it and a smoky flavor, and I just love it. Okay, here we go. There we go. And here is my sazon. Now, sazon just means seasoning, but it's a special seasoning, and many people know it as the Goya Sazon packets. Now, I usually use this, but lately I've taken to make my own sazon because this sazon has some ingredients that I'm not comfortable with, and so I'm not using that anymore, and now I make my own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link down below to our website so that you can get the recipe to make your own sazon. And this sazon is full of garlic and salt and paprika and oregano. Is just absolutely heaven. And I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of this into my water. Now the reason I'm doing it separate from, instead of just pouring it into my pot, is that way I know exactly what I put in. I make sure everything is mixed really well, and it just works. It just works for me. Ooh, look at the foam from the beer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Okay, so in we go. Okay. Again, I'm going to take advantage of the liquid to just scrape the bottom if I feel there's any little piece. There we go. Now, I've already washed and rinsed my rice. It's long grain white rice. I've used this. I've used Cal Rose, which is the little round rice grains. Either one will do. Into the pot goes my rice. 2 cups of washed or rinsed rice. I didn't wash, I didn't put soap. Okay. And again, let's stir and make sure that everything is mixed well together. Now, I use green peppers, but you can use whatever pepper you have. You can have, the yellow pepper or the red or the... Regardless, I like to add pimentos. There's something about pimentos. I just think they're delicious. Well, it looks like my pimentos are actually in strips, long strips, and I think that will just be phenomenal. So my arroz con pollo will have this long specks of red. Oh, don't hesitate to put in the liquid. It's just heavenly. And I'm gonna put in about a third of this jar. Oh, Nothing like pimentos in your rice. Okay, so having done that, we have a seasoning called Behold. And all it is something that will give your rice that yellow color. The Mexicans call it achiote. And I usually keep it, I buy the big cans and I keep it in a little container like this. I am going to put in 1/4 teaspoon. It's not even that much. See, like that. Just enough to give the dish the coloring that is so traditional. And a teaspoon of salt. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I want you to see the mixture. There it is. The rice, the peppers, the pimentos, the beer, the chicken broth. And on top of this, I'm going to put the chicken pieces. Like I said, they're not totally cooked, but they are cooked some. And then on top of that, I'm going to lay 2 bay leaves. Here we are. Our chicken is ready. I'm going to put the lid on. Now, I have made this dish up until this point on the stove. And once you have it on the stove and you want to cook it in a pot, then you just let it come to a boil, put it to very, very low flame, cover it, and wait until the grain is open and ready to be eaten. If you put it in a rice cooker, I've done it that way as well. You put everything in a rice cooker and you do all the seasoning exactly up to this point, cover it and turn on the rice cooker. It has worked just fine. Anyway, but this is the easiest thing because you just turn it on. I'm going to literally push this button, which is rice, and that's it. We're back. Our Arroz con Pollo pressure cooker has given us the signal that it's done. The little silver pin has gone in. If you touch the pressure cooker release button, no steam comes out. So now we're ready to open it. It's gone 15 minutes past the time when it stopped cooking, and that's how long it took for the pressure to be released naturally on its own. So here we go. So our first order of business is to take off the bay leaves and throw them out. I wish you could enjoy the aroma like I'm doing right now. This is just unbelievable. Never, 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 never stir the rice with a spoon. You need to fluff it with the fork. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna make sure I get a little bit of the pimento. Oh, I can see the pieces of onions. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness, this is so good. This is so delicious. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to click that share and like buttons and subscribe so you can get to see our videos every week for an easy home cooked meal that anyone can make. Thank you. Bye.